Good afternoon, everyone. How was your August? Did you have a good National Boob Day? Did you see a boob? I hope so. I usually open these talking about the significant holidays that happened this month, and this month that was the only one. Despite having more legitimacy than any other holiday that I've talked about on here, my work still denied my request for double time holiday pay. I'm still chugging away at that Resident Evil video. I'm almost done with the writing stage, but the due date that I set for October 2nd seems well within reach. Please believe in me. Other than that, I really haven't had anything particularly cool happen. Working, watching wrestling, playing games. That's pretty much all I have going on in life. But good news, this month actually did have new stuff in it. And just like we did on National Boob Day, let's check them out. Bear and Breakfast is an adorable little game where you're a bear who opens up and manages a bed and breakfast franchise. You walk around picking up material to build rooms and accommodations, and trade garbage with the raccoon that owns a dumpster for decorations. Guests have levels of expectation for things like comfort, decoration, hygiene availability, and cuisine. There's a layer of satire that running a B&B is a financial pit, but as someone who will never own property, this kinda rings hollow. I enjoyed this game a lot, but sort of fell off when cooking got introduced, feeling like things were a little too complicated. Still, this is a fun, relaxing, low-pressure game about a cute himbo, hairy fella. It's like me. Ori and the Blind Forest is another aesthetically pleasing game that I picked up as a recommendation from a colleague. Shouts out Catherine. It's an interesting, sort of Metroidvania-esque platformer where you play as this little cat fella. The thing that's interesting is, if you die, you have to reload, but you can save wherever you want. It's an interesting twist on the usual platforming lives checkpoint system. There's a real minor combat system, but you're mostly focusing on navigation and platforming. The art style is great, but I do have a major gripe. At the start of the game, as part of the narrative, you play as a big boy who spends all day sleeping in a cave eating fruit, who eventually makes friends with the cat fella. I didn't know a single thing about this game, so I just assumed we were playing the game about a big boy who spends all day sleeping in a cave eating fruit, who gets to be friends with a cat fella, just like me. Then, that guy fucking dies. I'm pretty early in the game still, so maybe our big boy pops up again. But you know how excited I was to play as a big boy who spends all day sleeping in a cave and eating fruit, who makes friends with a cat fella? Quite. Despite this glaring disappointment, I recommend Ori and the Blind Forest anyway. Sunset Overdrive was also a colleague recommendation, based on my description of Stray as an imagining a little guy running around type game. Shouts out, Elsie. In this game, you run around shooting at goop men and skate or slide on basically every surface. It's quite enjoyable. The PC version of this game is kind of a nightmare though, as the game warned me that my saves had been corrupted even though it was the first time I had launched the game. I also experienced some crazy screen tearing, VSync appearing to do nothing. I also gave up on the plot entirely after finding a mission where a character was just straight up Jesse from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, science.
But when I found myself sleepy-headed and ready for bed, and told myself I was going to turn in once I had picked up one last collectible, I found myself simply sliding, wall running, bouncing, and crowbar hanging another 45 minutes. When I talked to my friend about the plot being bad, she said she didn't even realize there was a plot. Which is fair. She only knew about the good stuff. This is a solid on-sale recommendation.
James, honey, did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Maria?
You said you took everything. but you forgot that videotape we made. I wonder if it's still there.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
I'm not your Mary.
So, you're Maria?
I am. If you want me to be.
All I want from you is an answer.
It doesn't matter who I am. I'm here for you, James. See? I'm real.
While writing the previously mentioned Resident Evil video, I realized the script called for almost a full playthrough of footage of Silent Hill 2, for what will probably end up being a 30-second sequence. It be like that sometimes. James Sunderland's journey through the foggy town is still one of the best experiences in video games. I still don't believe we've gotten anything in the medium that delivers the way this game has. It actually strikes me now that this game is over 20 years old, and for many, its cultural reference is this meme, so I'll keep spoilers very light. James Sunderland receives a letter from his wife saying she's in Silent Hill at their special place. The thing is, Mary Sunderland has been dead for 3 years. Naturally, James goes looking. As James is, perhaps shepherded through the town, he meets others with darkness in their hearts.
Well, maybe he was right. Maybe I am nothing but a fat, disgusting piece of shit.
Just like me. So you wonder, what kind of darkness exists in James' heart? This isn't a noise factory scream box the way a lot of more modern horror games are. In fact, I can hardly think of a direct jump scare in the whole game. This is more of a personal, quiet horror, the kind that makes your insides feel like they're on fire as you dive deeper and deeper. You owe it to yourself as a fan of video games to play this.
It's hot as hell in here.
You see it too. For me, it's always like this.
Playing this game was actually a major personal victory for me, as I thought maybe I had allowed myself to grow to hate this series after, my life. But playing it again, technically over the course of like 3 months on stream, was such a major delight that I feel like I fell in love with the series all over again. I even feel quite comfortable saying this. Check us out in October whenever Persona 5 Royale comes out on Steam, because we're gonna be playing that. You thought the misadventures of Dax Harwood were crazy? You just wait till his tag team partner, Cash Wheeler, joins the fray. That's it. That's all I have to say for this game. Speaking of streaming, okay. Oh, what up? Benevolent leader, please don't judge me, but I've always wanted to eat a meal made of poop. Alice! You've been here 5 minutes. Is this why you came? Is this why you joined my cult? Cult of the Lamb is a roguelike dungeon crawler where you play as a leader of a cult, gathering strength to resurrect the one who waits. In between randomly generated single-life dungeon runs, you gather resources, craft living quarters, farm, win the influence of your followers, to build up your power and take out the old gods. And for a game that's so cute, it sure is creepy when you give sermons and declare commandments to control your flock. I absolutely adore this game so far, and I'm delighted to tell you that you can watch me play even more on Twitch. This is the game going forward. I don't think it's too long, but I'm bad at games, so I'll take longer. Don't worry, no matter how long it'll take, I'll always have a place for you. I know that between the job and the bills and trying to balance your social life, it can feel like you don't have any control or direction. The world can feel so isolating, but there is somewhere you belong. Somewhere you're needed. Somewhere where people depend on you and where you can depend on others. Where I depend on you and you can depend on me. So join the cabin sequence. Join us. Live at Twitch TV/TechnicallyRudo. I hope to see you there. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this nonsense, to hear me talk about stupid bullshit video games. Like, who the fuck do I think I am? You care what I have to say about a thing. But you listen to it and I appreciate it. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and until next month, I'm Technically Rudo of Technically Rudo Chef, and I'll see you later.